You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
Do you like comic book movies, particularly Marvel films? Because if you do, hi, my name's Ian. I hang out with Mitch. We take a journey into mystery every single Wednesday. You can watch us live. You can listen to us later in the car when you're by yourself and you don't want to tell people you listen to podcasts about Marvel movies. That's fine. No judgment. But we're here for you. We watched all the MCU. Now we're going through all the old ones. So buckle in. Mitch is going to take us there. Boom. That's your ad right there.
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch! What up, Mitch?
Orderly Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey,
Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch? Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch?
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Welcoming back to Hey Mitch this evening, I have Chris Soriano here to talk about his latest movie, Zeus, which will be out for rent August 10th. No, 20th, sorry. Out for rent August 20th. It's in I saw on the website you're going to be doing like a 24-hour rent window.
Yep. I with our new distribution partner, we are signing the deal as we speak. It's pretty much done, and it's a worldwide distribution, and so they'll be handling it. And I think it's a 48-hour rental window.
Oh,
so,
okay.
that's pretty cool. And internationally, so they have like a cinematic release in the Philippines and other countries as well. So I wish we could have that cinematic release here in America, but I think a good win-win is people being able to watch it and relate to the film.
Exactly. I am so excited for you in this movie. Like, you look amazing in it. Like, I can't, I see all the work that you put into it, and I just feel so much pride. Tell us about Zeus.
Absolutely. Zeus is a story about an amateur up and coming boxer that can't find his lucky break. And it's happening in modern times, like, literally February 2020. And so, with the rise of these hate crimes, he starts experiencing racism and all these crazy things in 2020, So he gets involved in one incident, which ends up going viral, and it captures the attention of the middleweight champion of the world, and he gets into the ring with him. And so that's pretty much the plot and the development of the story Zeus.
Now, you wrote, you directed, and you starred in this movie. How was it? How did it feel to wear so many hats?
Oh man, it felt very stressful, I will say. I did it because, number one, it saved us a lot of money if I did all those roles. And also, I've always been inspired of people like, Sylvester Stallone, who wrote Rocky. And what I heard was like 2 nights, and that's like insane to me. How does somebody write a movie in 2 nights? Later, I found out that he, rewrote the draft and so on and so forth. But I just got that tidbit that he wrote it in 2 nights. And I said, maybe I could write Zeus in 7. And I pulled it off. And so, the rest is history, I guess.
Now, I think one of the biggest things that I had to have recognized from of all the promo and talking about this movie, you have an executive producer in the living legend, Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was such a cool and random blessing because, we wrote this film, did everything and shot it, edited everything. And finally we realized, man, nobody's going to watch this because nobody knows who we are. They're not going to find us at the box office. We're not going to have any impact. And we did it, to raise awareness of some of the hate crimes that are happening and everything. And I just said, I wish somebody with a high status can help share this film. And that's when I reached out to Manny Pacquiao on Instagram, and I just DM'd them, and they responded. It would shock me, and they said, yeah, they'd love to be a part of it because they believe in the same mission. And that was like, I was like starstruck, blessed, excited, all at the same time.
Wow. Through Instagram, like I could not imagine that working out any better than that. I imagine that, too many stars don't want people just reaching out to them through Instagram, but I'm glad it worked out for you. I'm glad that I know you on Facebook, so I don't have to go through Instagram once you're a huge star.
Yeah, no, we're buddies, so it's all good. And, I think, at the end of the day, we're all human. We all wear our pants the same way. We're all, what sets us apart is the things that we do. And him being 8 division world champion, I can't do that. But I can direct the movie and write it and act in it and raise awareness of important issues. So that's, where I'm at.
I mean, talking to you last time about Dynasty Boys, like obviously there is a theme between the two movies, and these are issues that are very important to you and should be very important to everybody else out there. So I'm happy that you are getting this message out there in multiple ways. How was it? How did it make you feel the first time you saw other people watching this movie?
Oh, I felt really good because the head of acquisitions for the Philippine company, the large Philippine company that acquired us recently, her first reaction was, after I watched it, I cried. And I said, whoa, I would have never expected that. I thought, usually when the people at the top watch your movie, they're going to start saying things like, oh, you took this scene a little too long, or, this one dragged. But those were the first words she said. And it made me go, whoa, I believe the world will feel this impact. And of course, sharing it with my family, sharing it with my fiance. At the time, when I started making Dynasty Boys, my girlfriend and I weren't engaged. So a lot has happened in this pandemic. So, and she's my co-founder. She's the person that, she's the strong business side. I'm just creative and crazy. So we kind of balance each other out. But her reaction was very beautiful. It's just, I'm happy that it's being well received so far.
Good. I'm glad to hear that too.
Thank
you. You're playing a boxer in the movie, and you're always, as long as I've known you, you've always been a very fit gentleman. But what was it like having to get into boxer shape?
Oh man, that was such a challenge because, I've had that one uncle growing up that just taught me the basics, jab straight hook. And, just joking around, we all got that uncle, that thinks he knows boxing, but never really stepped in the ring. So, that was all the knowledge I had. But I had it for a very long time in my life. But I knew, okay, if I'm going to make a movie about a boxer, I got to get into a boxing gym and get, the proper education behind this stuff. And so I went to the local house of boxing out here, and they pretty much kind of was like, whoa, you're going to make a movie? You don't know much about boxing. Like it felt like a Rocky film going in there, Mr. Hollywood guy coming up in here thinking, because boxing is like grimy. It's like, you got to get like, it's the no glamour business. It's like it's the hurt business. And so, you go into boxing gym saying you want to make a movie, they most likely laugh at you. But, these guys really welcomed me with open arms and said, all right, let's figure out where you're at. And they worked with me every single day. And, they got me in shape physically, mentally, and even to a point where I wanted to fight, like, professionally in the ring. So, it was just like, oh, let me calm myself down now. Cause I ain't no boxer, but that's what you got to do, right? You got to really like method act, you got to be the boxer. And so that's what they did for me.
So how long before cameras rolled were you in the boxing gym?
Oh, about a month before. And also like during filming, it was like every day I would, be training because I wanted, I've never taken my shirt off, period, besides at home or whatever, taking showers, whatever have you. But like for the cameras, I never did that, so this is the first actual film end to end that's been completed. So for me to be shirtless and boxing and stuff like that, I was insecure, man. I was like, I don't know how the world's going to receive this. These boxers look so ripped and fit. You got Michael B. Jordan, you got Jake Gyllenhaal, you got Sylvester Stallone, and this Asian random dude, And so I was like, man, I hope I represent, at the end of the day, I think the trailer, did pretty good. So
I agree completely. I think it's doing great.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, that has to add on more stress though of having to keep up that diet, keep up that training course while also making a movie where you're the star and the writer and the director and the producer and probably craft services and
yep, you're
wardrobe.
Right, janitor. But no, you're right. And I would stress eat sometimes in the past where like, if I'm stressed, let's go get some ice cream or let's go get a meal, even when I'm full. And, just because it's like, who doesn't want to go into a nice restaurant when they're stressed out or whatever and have a good meal with good friends, And so I couldn't do that for this film. And I was more even upset that I couldn't or stressed out, It's like, I can't go get a burrito in the middle of the night when, I had a bad day or something, I can't stop by Jack in the Box at midnight, And so all those little things I had to shave off, but it shows you how powerful, I guess, the body and the mind is when you're adapting for a mission or something that you want. And those little choices that I was doing right really helped me when I was ready for that role in the ring. And I'm thankful. And, I kept training ever since because I said, I don't want to get back to a state where, I have to train really hard again. I just want to be show ready or something, for the next one, if we ever do make, actually we are in the process of making it. So, for Zeus 2 rather.
Oh, look at that. Zeus 2. I like to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, long story short, there is going to be a part 2 and, I'm creating it right now and making it as awesome as possible. So,
all right. So I take it then maybe instead of stress eating at night, you just go and hit that speed bag a little bit more or something, huh?
Yeah, it's actually a run. I set up a punching bag here so I could, do that. So it's just a little bit more active things. I'll ask my fiance and I to go walk around, the city. Normally we wouldn't walk as much. And now it's like we're walking a lot more. So that helps too.
Good. Glad to hear that. So what was it stress wise or just, complication wise? What popped up on this movie that really sticks into your mind?
Man, the stress wise so much, like from being able to shoot a film, what normally takes like 6 months, or a year for some people. I mean, the bigger the budget, the longer it takes. But, we were able to do pre-production in 30 days. Typically that's 6 months. We were able to do principal photography where we begin filming production in 21 days. Typically that's, north of, I think the Avengers and all that's like 90 or like 40 to 90. So, and, post-production, normally 6 months or so down to 39 days. So total end to end 90 days. And I say that like it's so simple, but the biggest stressful thing from day one was like, if one of us gets COVID, that's a wrap.
Yep.
We got no more movie. We've got nothing. We've wasted our time. And so it's like, it was hard enough for me to get all these people to work together. It's like a village of 40 people in the middle of a pandemic to make a movie and be on the same page and not quit. And nobody quit. Nobody dropped out. So that was a blessing. And nobody got COVID. Another blessing. But with that, everybody had to get tested daily. They had to, those things are expensive,
Yeah.
And everybody was like freaking out that if they got it, they would die. That was like the mentality of like, but there were also naysayers like, come on, it's just the flu. But when, one of our team members, their grandfather passed away. And I was like, dang, another of our team members, his father got it. So it was like everybody was getting COVID and paranoid as we were going through the 21 days. So you could just imagine the stress that piled up on me. That's just trying to keep everybody calm and still focused on the project.
I mean, I'd love to ask more about that. Like you said, everybody had to get tested daily just to be on set. Like, is vaccinations a requirement? Is making mask mandates a requirement? What precautions did you take on set?
Yes, because at the time the vaccinations weren't all out yet. I think Johnson & Johnson, I think they were slowly rolling it out. This is February of this year.
Okay,
and
yeah.
So I think a lot of people were still skeptic of taking the vaccine. I remember but as soon as it was available, like nobody in the production, like I think like only like 10% wanted to take the vaccine, So, and it was just a lot of the face mask coverings, making sure that they're always on, even right before they're about to say their lines. A lot of our cinematographers, or our DP rather, being a bit further, but punching in a little bit, like zooming in and keeping it a bit tight. So just a lot of these, like, it was really awkward because it's like you're distant and you got to feel connected. And we're doing this for a movie. So it's like, you want to break the rules a bit, but if somebody got something, they'll look at the overall production and be like, Chris was careless, So, we got away with doing what we did, and making it work for what we had, I guess. And thank goodness we pulled it off.
Obviously, like some of the, like you see in the trailer, some of the shots you're doing on location, and life imitating art imitating life. You have people of Asian descent wearing masks. Like, did you ever worry about people on the outside of this production looking in and being like, those are the people causing the problem here, kind of thing?
Yes. I mean, it's interesting. A great question and perspective. Since this is in modern times, we did want to show as much of what's happening today, with still being respectful to, because people were dying, and people still are dying to COVID. And also Asian Americans are receiving a lot of hate crimes happening to them. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, at least at the end of the day, we know we're trying to show here what would happen on a cinematic level. And let me give you a brief example. The scene in the trailer where, this old gentleman is being bullied and being sprayed with hand sanitizer, I took that from a real case that happened in public. And to even bring it more close to home to me, I put my actual father in that scene so that I can even act as if, man, this is like, I could really bring the emotion. And, so anyways, I put real life scenarios with my real life scenario to bring out the best of both in the performance.
Yeah, I noticed that on the IMDb cast, there was a gentleman there as the old man who had the same last name as you. So
exactly. Nice catch. There you go. You're going to see all sorts of, hopefully, funny and awesome, but also more meaningful things in this film. Yes.
Speaking of casting, like your co-star in this, Miguel Matos.
Yes, Miguel Matos. Yep.
Matos. Okay. Plays your coach. Plays your boxing coach, like that. How was that process in finding your other lead in the movie?
Oh, it was challenging because I didn't I found him, and I was looking at other, like a few, because I saw an image in my head of who Coach Green would be. Somebody from the streets, somebody tough, and somebody with a strong command presence. And to find someone who can exude and give that vibe, like they've been through the streets and they've seen stuff, would hopefully have went through that stuff, and I just, anyways, with Miguel, he's from New York. He actually went through all that stuff, met a lot of people in this world. And like, even when I interviewed him and spoke to him, he was like, man, he told me stories that made me go, okay, this guy is definitely he's seen the streets, been through the streets and survived. And that is perfect for his character, because Coach Green uses street fights, backyard boxing to teach Zeus how to fight. And so that was essential for the character of Coach Green.
And what was it? I mean, just the fact that Miguel had lived this life already was the essential, like, this is the perfect person to play Coach Green.
Yes. I mean, he's because I'm trying to reserve what he's actually done by still protecting him.
That's fair.
By telling me, but let's just say he's seen, the street life and but was always, I guess, a good Samaritan in the most unlikely of circumstances. And so after a couple of interviews and, I just knew, right from day one of his audition, which was on Zoom, typically you have somebody go into an audition, you have a casting director, makes it all happen. I was doing the dang auditions, with our team. And, it's just a small team, me, Hillary, and Ezekiel and Rose were like 4 just core group people. And anyways, it was cool to do this via Zoom.
The rest of your cast, how did you come about with that? How was that casting call in the world of pandemic, and going about who you were going to cast and finding the right person to play this? Like how did you go about that?
Great question. It was a unique journey that I was figuring out as I was going along, because, figuring it out and going, okay, I see this person as our female lead, Corazon Punongbayan. I needed someone who could sing beautifully, was Filipina, and really represented what I wrote. And I found her through going on backstage.com. Most of the actors, I just went on, most people have these huge casting agencies and, all that. I didn't have that. So I was just very resourceful, and I saw some headshots, and then I looked at some reels, and then I just said, okay, let's do a Zoom interview. And if they're willing to memorize and recite lines and work with me, then, that's stage 1. They all did it. Then we got to stage 2, which was, let's have you act and deliver it to us, and I'll have my team review it. And so that was my basic hiring, I guess, casting process. Nothing fancy, but, just figuring it out, like I said, as I went along.
Between Dynasty Boys and this, what were the lessons that you learned before that you brought into the Making of Zeus?
Oh, wow. Beautiful question. Because the number one lesson I learned before is that in the writer's room, a lot can happen. And the reason why Dynasty Boys fell apart and we never got to finish it is because in the writer's room, my co-writer and I just couldn't see eye to eye. And we had to amicably, part ways. And so when that happens, it's just, it's crushing because, you can't continue with the movie. The person helped you create the movie, and it's like, if I continue, I would be disrespectful to that person because he came up with these ideas. I don't want to, do anything wrong. I don't want to get sued. It's just like, it's like, I told myself I never want that to happen to me again, where, if I just don't want someone to stop the film. And I didn't think that could happen. And that's just what happened to me. And so I took that lesson and I said, I'm going to write this film end to end. And I'm going to get it done. And that's probably what motivated me to finish in 7 days. And then I said, I don't care if it's amazing or bad. I'm just going to be honest and pure and try to create something meaningful. And that was the beginning of me kind of painting that screenplay, if you will.
And then what are the lessons you're taking from Zeus and moving forward to Zeus 2?
Ooh, that choreography is tough. When you're fighting, man, they make it look so good and easy in those movies. But I've got hit so many times because I was the one doing the choreography, and I was working with the boxing instructors and stuff. And I had another choreographer there who we brought in for the last final fight scene because I wanted it to be great. And when you don't have too much time for training, a jab in the ribs will be, it could fully stop you. And, I thought it wouldn't hurt as bad. I was like, let's just go for realism. And these guys are going to, throw their, so, I got punched so many times. I almost got my teeth broken because of a punch, my 2 front teeth. It's just stuff that, the professionals would be like, Chris, this is why we have a professional team, because, it's very amateur of you to actually get hit, and you need to learn to do this the right way so that, it looks like John Wick at the end of the day, or Rocky, so, but this is me figuring it out with the resources that I had. And so that's it was a painful learning lesson. Get a good stunt coordinator.
It can do wonders for your production, I imagine, and your ribs.
right. And teeth,
How many instructors did you have on set usually?
We had two, and but not on set at the same time. It was just one person for the final ending fight scene, and my boxing instructor to help me throughout some of the fights in the beginning. So very bare bones, but just as effective.
Now, you talked about Southpaw earlier, and Creed, and Rocky. Like any particular boxing movie that you took some inspiration from?
Definitely Rocky. You know, I saw all of them again on Amazon Prime. Just I rented them all again just to watch it for inspiration. I even had the villain in this film, watch it, just to get us both in that mindset of, here's what was accomplished. Listen to that beautiful score. I'm very inspired by Rocky, and so I think when you appreciate something, you take a little piece of that for yourself. And so, I even researched how is Sylvester Stallone able to train and get himself into shape and things like that. So anyways, Rocky was a big inspiration, and those audio tracks, really, really, that score really, really inspired me.
So you were talking about your villain. What was it that you were looking for when you were casting your villain?
Oh, I wanted an American badass that, was unsympathetic to COVID. And because, his mother dies from COVID. And so what a unique situation that, you have somebody whose mom dies of it. How would he react to this? Who would he blame? And what kind of message would he communicate? And so that's what I tried to create here. And how would both, fighters, what dialogue would they say, and what would happen in the end? So anyways, that was the some of the key points I was thinking about when developing our villain.
And how did your actor live up to that for you?
He did great. He loved it. He loved his lines, and he really delivered. And his name is Rob Rodeo Cooper. And so, it was like he's a cowboy, right? So, and he amazing guy. Him and I are really good friends. And now, and I never met him before, but I knew he was perfect. And, really awesome to work with on set.
Did he have a boxing background before this?
No, he did not either. So I had to, coordinate him with a boxing coach in a different style, a more aggressive style. And he really showed up to those boxing lessons and did everything. And he really put in a lot of work.
So famously in the last Jason Bourne movie, Matt Damon, every time he was fighting with one of the stunt crew and he would accidentally land a punch, he had to buy them a bottle of expensive champagne. So
I didn't know that. Damn, that's cool.
Yeah. He said by the end of it, he owed them cases of the stuff because he just was so bad at the choreography. Anything? Were you able to do anything? Did you manage to hit other people a lot of times, or what?
Great question. And I never hit one because I wanted to make sure these guys would come back for Zeus 2. I was like, that was the number one thing I said. I was like, don't get sued. And we need them for the second one. So we want to, always keep the relationship good. But if I did, and I had to give them a gift, I would, take them out to try some of the best Filipino food, maybe, or get them a Filipino bottle of wine or something. That's really fun.
I love it. Any other movies that you watched to prepare yourself, put you in the mindset, or Absolutely. What else? What did you put you in the mindset to get into this? Other than I'm going to get this done. I'm motivated to do it.
I watched the movie Warrior, a very beautiful film.
I love that movie.
Right? Isn't that the most insanely cool, beautifully shot film? I even, my DP reached out to the DP of Warrior and told them what we were going to do in the pandemic. And so they both, spoke, because usually the director of photography is so vital on a set. I had to learn that,
Yeah.
He was so nice to share with us, your biggest challenge, and he was right, is going to be fighting and choreography. And so at the time, I was just like, yeah, that's obvious. But it was way more like that echo throughout my mind on every fight scene, And anyways, so I watched Warrior, and I also, to get more prepared, I definitely did study and look at other fighters. I even went to different sparring sessions to see how fighters would fight in our local gym. Definitely watched Manny Pacquiao's fights and just try to study it all, take it all in so that I can, perform the right way when we come to filming.
And your director of photography was Nathaniel Regier?
Yeah, Riger.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Struggle with his name, but yes, he took the leap of faith with me. He was one of the first people I spoke to about this, and he just thought I was crazy, but at the same time was like, damn, you want to shoot a film in the pandemic, and want to make a boxing film after never ever making a boxing film, and you don't know too much about boxing. He's like, this sounds cool, I'm kind of down. And so it was awesome.
How was that first initial meeting between you and he?
Oh, it was great because we liked the same films. We vibed off I sent him the screenplay. He read it that same night. And what I love about the philosophy, he's in the better to not overpromise and underdeliver. He was all about okay, he gave me a timeline in which he would give me something, but he gave it to me earlier. And he read the whole thing. He gave me notes on the script. He was all excited. And he even had I know this guy for your gaffer, this guy for your, first AC. And I was Googling, all right, first AC, what do they specifically do? I learned some of these, terminologies, I'm a guy with a vision. And I love what, what's his name said, Quentin Tarantino, where you don't got to know above the line, below the line, this lens from that lens. If you truly want to make a very good movie, all you have to do is be passionate about creating a good movie, and you'll just make a good movie. So you just have to love movies. And so Nathaniel didn't take my lack of experience. He equipped me. He shared with me stuff. I mean, in the world of Hollywood, if you don't know too much and you're directing something, they're just gonna get out of here. You're wasting my time. But he took a chance on me to show, hey man, I wrote something, I could do this, just trust me. And he did it, and it worked out. Yeah.
Obviously have a vision and surround yourself with people that will help you get your vision made. Right.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can ask this, and if it's inappropriate, you just go ahead and stop me. But what was the budget? How did you get that? How did you fund this movie?
Great question. I would have loved to share that as of signing the deal with our distribution company, but
that's fair.
It's now private. But man, I got it in my head, and I wish I could tell you. So but let's just say we didn't have never mind. I don't even know what to say. So I don't
don't need to worry about that. Yeah. That's just the thing that I don't know. So I'm glad to know that.
Right. Osmosis. I'll tell you. There you go.
All right. So, after filming, I assume you went into editing. How involved were you in that? Were you step by step? Were you letting someone else lead you? I assume this was all a new process for you too.
Yes, very new. The craziest editing was at KYMA when I was a journalist. So, it's been a while from those days. But
cutting a bow saw was a big different than this, isn't it? I imagine.
Right, very different. We don't color correct the news. We just, it's flat. It is what it is, and we go into the next story. With here, it was very different because I had other editors in mind, but nothing locked in. And when we finished it, I needed an editor to do this quick. I mean, rapid. And a lot of editors were like, bro, you're nuts if you want to do this in 39 days. That's impossible. And so a lot of people in Hollywood, the independent editors, would just turn me down. And so I was like, dang, I know there's somebody out there that's willing to take this leap of faith. Because my purpose of getting this out there as fast as I could is because I wanted it to really benefit and share, create a unique perspective of all these hate crimes and everything that's going on. I really wanted to raise awareness in another level. So I found an editor. I lucked out. His name was Julian Brantley, and over 20 years experience. And he even said I was nuts. But he was like, you know what? Sometimes crazy is good. And, I saw what you did. He even read the screenplay, and, I just looked at his eyes, and he didn't know when he was talking to me. I was like praying. I was like, I hope he says yes. Just say yes. Please say yes. And then he was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I was like, damn, this is awesome. So, he got to work, and the way we worked is we had this platform where I could see his edits, and I can make suggestions, and we could both go back and forth in real time as he's editing it.
Nice.
And so it was really cool. And, my DP told me about these softwares and things like that. I was like, I didn't even know that. That's awesome. And so it coordinates with Adobe Premiere and all this. So anyways, every edit he did, I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like I was jumping in the editor, not a booth. I was here on my computer, but I was so, elated. I was so happy because I was like, man, I knew my performance in that scene was whack. And then I saw his edit and I was like, damn, he made me look so awesome. So it's like a good editor could really like, Julian's definitely going to be thanked in my Oscar speech if I ever get one.
I mean, so this brings up a good question. Like when you were filming, since you were doing it all so quickly, how many takes did you give yourself to get the right one, or did you try to do it all in one take a bunch of times, kind of thing?
Wow, what a great question, because we were always against time every single day.
Yeah,
every day it was like, I wish that I could have gotten more takes, but it was like 3 to 5 takes and we're on to the next. Mm-hmm. Or, I was being like, I would decrease my takes for the more important scenes, or, it was like, there was always a point where, my DP would be like, Chris, we got to go on to the next thing, man. We're like 2 hours behind. And so I'm like, dang. And that 2 hours led to 4 hours. And then, but, we never had to, or I think there was one day where we had to push, and what we missed we'll get the next day. But he was always telling me that could create a snowball effect, and we don't want to not finish this film. Right. So we really learned to speed up, save time, and not do too many takes. So yeah. Did you shoot linearly, or did you shoot out of order like most productions do? Oh, yes. At first I was like, yo, we're going to shoot this linear, A to Z. And, but definitely my DP came in and was like, yo, let's do it definitely out of order to save us time from which actors are here on these days. And, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm trying to put this thing together in my mind, and the right people will guide you to make sure you can get it done the right way. Like, so definitely out of order to prioritize the people, because some people like Miguel was from New York, he had to fly in. Mm-hmm. My mother in the movie was from Oakland. She had to fly in. So, it was it was really fun. And also, doing schedules is a nightmare, but do it, And I imagine it was difficult to, getting permits to shoot in places like that, and having to coordinate all that. So absolutely. Was it mostly shot in Southern California? Yes, most of it was shot in LA and in San Diego. So, and they're only 2 hours away from each other. So, and the funny thing about LA, when you've got a camera, always it attracts so much attention, and the police will come by, everybody will come by. So, but everybody's always friendly, and that's what I appreciate. Good. Glad to hear that. All right. So then you're on the, promotion tour. Like, how has that been going for you? Oh, it's been going great. I'm still learning because, our acquisition is like now, where the distribution company takes it. And so, but like our premiere is in like 10 days. So It's like, when people say you can't get a good acquisition deal in the 12th hour, I guess I'm a good example of, yes, you can. It's never too late. And, you just got to have faith. And the promotion tour has been a real blessing, because we've been able to, get interviewed by you, and, just, sharing our stories with people that want to hear it means a lot to me. What was it like? Because I know this isn't the first time that you've been interviewed, but like when I first met you, you were doing the interviewing. So like, what's it like being on the other side of the camera? Like, do you still think about the days when you were at KYMA? Oh, absolutely. When times are tough, I sometimes tell myself, man, I should have just stuck it out as a journalist. you know, like, but then I go, no, those tough days as a journalist built me up for this moment. This is what I was meant to do. And, I just look at it as we all got unique God-given gifts. And I feel like, God blessed me with an ability just to talk to people and just be transparent, honest, and share with them what I see. And if they see what I see, then it's a win-win because we're creating a movie here. If I'm trying to put these pieces together, just the fact that Manny Pacquiao a part of this now must mean, hey, we hit the jackpot and we got acquired. That's another jackpot, right, guys? So it was kind of like a relief, like, whew, thank God we got acquired here, because if we didn't, it would have been bad. But it's very.
I mean, like you said, you're successful in reaching out to Manny Pacquiao on Instagram. You should reach out to Simu Liu on Twitter. That's how he got his role as Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that would be huge. I think he might block me though, because he's like, everybody asked me for. And I'm just kidding. No, that would be awesome. To actually, maybe in Zeus too. Who knows? And if he replies, I'll let you know. I'll be like, that was your idea.
So how far along are we in Seuss 2 then?
Oh, very, very far along. I've been working on it, and all the plot points, the treatment is done. We're just breezing through the screenplay, finishing it up here, and it's got some exciting announcements. You'll definitely get a text from me once that thing is up and running. So yeah,
I love it. I can't wait. So I was going to ask you, like, what were you doing now that in your off time, but it sounds like you've been writing and creating and stuff. So, but are you doing anything on your relaxing to help you relax, between writing and shooting and talking about your movie?
Oh, beautiful question. The relaxing part is me trying to spend more time with my family, both my parents, because they, I don't know if I mentioned this, but both my parents suffered with strokes throughout, this filming process. And I mean, it's hard when you have one parent dealing with a stroke, but let alone two is like,
right.
When I remember on the first day of filming, the day, like 2 days before, my mother just collapsed in the bathroom. And I remember like picking her up and thinking like, she was dead or something, and I was just like, like, the film didn't matter. Nothing mattered. All that mattered was her. And I remember thinking, like, why? What? Like, I rushed her to the hospital, and and she was able to be discharged a few days later. And it was a mild stroke or something like that, where they had to still monitor her heart rate and all that, put some thing on her. But it was pretty crazy, and on the first day of set, everyone was like, we hope your mom is okay. Hey, Chris, we hope your mom's okay. I was like, that was the ambiance. It wasn't like, we're excited to film, it was more like, is your mom alive? Like, we hope, because I was in the emergency room as we were doing pre-production work. And, when most people would probably push back a project, I said, we got to push forward because, this is our vision, and no matter what obstacle comes our way, we gotta figure it out. So, yeah.
So yeah, spend as much time as you can with them. That's, my heart goes out to your mother and your father and your family. So
thank you.
I'm glad that you can do this and obviously, do it for them as much as for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Chris, like, I loved talking to you this whole time, and thank you for making this movie as another child of a Asian immigrant. Like, I appreciate this. So thank you.
Awesome.
Anything else like you want to talk about the movie? Like, I feel like I've just been picking you apart about how to make a movie all of a sudden.
No, it was a beautiful interview and I appreciate it. And I guess the only thing I'll throw out there is, when I was trying to get advice from a lot of directors, I was successful with Manny, just DMing him, but I DM'd a lot of directors for advice, and I didn't get anything back, and I thought that was pretty discouraging, because I was like, man, I'd love some sort of advice. And so if there's any filmmakers out there that want some sort of advice or anything, I mean, I'd be happy to share anything that I've learned or know making this film. And I'd love to give my email out if that's okay with your viewers.
Yes, please give your email out.
Awesome. It's just contact CONTACT at dynastyboys, that's BOYS.com. And shoot me an email there, and I'll just, whatever questions you got, we're all in this journey to make beautiful stories. So I'd love to help.
So Zeus is opening worldwide August 20th.
Yes, that's right.
You can rent. Where is it that you're going to be able to rent it for that 48 hours?
Yes, we'll be making that announcement here.
Haven't made that announcement yet.
I know. And so, they'll be able to see it. And so, ZeusTheMovie.com for now, and it'll be posted there shortly. Yeah,
see, folks, I tried to trick him. I tried to get him to make an announcement on my show. It's okay. I understand. Yes, go to ZeusMovie.com.
ZeusTheMovie.com.
ZeusTheMovie.com. There you go. Go to ZeusTheMovie.com for all further information. If you want to follow me, I can maybe put you in contact with Chris, but if you want to follow me on Twitter. I'm at Mitchipedia. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. The rest of Geek Elite Media is at Geek Elite Media on Twitter, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our website, geekelitemedia.com. And whatever podcatcher you use to listen to us, please rate and review us. It helps spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is Hey Mitch on the Geek Elite Media Network saying always remember to
geek out.
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast. Beep.